Welcome, YouTube. Today we're going to talk about the three components of a top dollar top sale net. Now, this is, Facebook still, oh, there we go, Facebook. Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the three components of a top dollar top net sale. I think conceptually you can think about it in the following manner. The top dollar part is we're going to be looking at the agent and the process. The top net part will also be looking at saving costs such as realtor fees. So we're going to be comparing and contrasting the discount brokers and their models with full service top agents in your local area. In the middle of it, we're going to have a few things that we think you should do to, because it happened to me when I was renovating homes and flipping them. I think you should do before you even hire an agent, and certainly before you talk to buyers, the things you can do to add substantial value to your home in many circumstances. All of this is about putting the probabilities in your favor. I'm going to go over some of the percentages that I've seen in my experience. You can't add all the percentages up, and if you do it the optimal way, you'll make 50% more. It's a little slushy because in the end, yes, it's a home sells for the price a buyer will pay, but you want to be making your home appealing to a higher and higher part of that buyer pool. So some of those motivated buyers pay you more money for your home. So that's the point of putting the percentage in your favor. That's why we're going to discuss them. I have a document over here that we're going to look at as we go through. Let me just share it. I'm going to be covering these things. I'm also going to pull up some websites to illustrate what I am talking about. So the first one is we're going to look at the real estate agents you can hire, the top ones in your area. We'll discuss how you select them. Well, no, we'll talk about it now too. Okay, and the process they use is very important. So let's just get right in. In my experience, I used to be listed as Del Mar real estate attorney. I got calls all the time from people trying to get out of their listing contract because frequently this was because multiple offers would come in for the property and their agent would either chase away some of the buyers with their process where they were sending out multiple rounds of paperwork, and eventually the strong buyers left. They didn't like being jerked around. The people were left with the weaker buyers who then couldn't perform at that price that they agreed to. Sometimes the agents just went in hiding after they lost people and they weren't talking to their agents for weeks. And then the agent may have said, "Hey, you can get out of the contract," but then the broker said, "Well, that has to be in writing. It's not in writing." So there were all sorts of variations. But after my experience, also talking to, I've had a brokerage we've purchased, mostly sold. We did mostly listings, but we've sold over 200 homes as a real estate broker at McConnin Company Realty. I've had agents, we've referred properties out all over the country to those buyers agents and listing agents. I've referred family and community to agents all over, and I'm relaying some of this experience to you. I don't think there's any substitute for the following. Experience, 20 or 30 sales under their belt, probably in your preferred area, but not always. I mean, a lot of these lessons, I'd rather work with an agent who sold 60 or 70 homes successfully than someone who knows your neighborhood really well but has only sold one or two homes. But I would make exceptions. I mean, that's why you talk to the agents. But there's something about selling a lot of homes, going through all the issues that come up that can help people guide you, that can guide you through the process towards, like if your goal is top dollar, you want to work with an agent who can help you select buyers who are likely to perform at those higher levels, especially if their banks won't lend on that much money. So if let's say your home is worth $1 million, but you sell it for $1.1 million, well, the bank might say, well, we're only going to lend $800,000. So now instead of your buyer having to come up with $200,000, they have to come up with $300,000. So that's one of the things a strong, experienced agent would know, is that as your house, as the process works better and you're selling your house further and further away from what maybe fair market would be to a bank, you have to start selecting on stronger, more motivated buyers who are likely to perform, especially if their bank tells them, by the way, it doesn't appraise that high. Then there needs to have been a story that maybe was told to the appraiser, maybe was told to the bank. There's a lot of things that go into that. That's what experienced listing agents do and know. And there's little substitute for that. Also the credibility that comes with it. And this, okay, so now these things go hand in hand. Now, an agent who understands the process, for instance, My preferred process would be, and you can compare and contrast when you're asking agents these questions. I think that it takes time for local marketing to work. It takes time for Google's big data to work. It takes time for Facebook's big data to work. So when you start your marketing to the motivated buyer pool that Google lets you select, that Facebook will find for you now, because they've made it easier. They just knocked out your ability to do a lot of the filtering. You have to trust Facebook to do it. So when you put your home for sale and you explain it up to the market and you boost it. I mean, boosting was unsophisticated. People laughed at it months ago, but now because of what Facebook's done, boosting may be one of the most easiest ways, cost-effective ways to have to let Facebook find you lots of motivated buyers. So you boost your listing. You put it up on YouTube. You market to the in-market audience. You may even market on Google searches for people searching your area, and you let those engines do their work. I mean, you want to give that a few days, 5 to 7, maybe even 10 days at $7 to $20 a day in marketing. It's not expensive, but you have to give it time. So in my mind, it was easy. You just start a week beforehand, then you list the home in the market and you say, we're having open house next weekend. We're going to look at all the offers after next weekend. But feel free to submit your offer, but we're going to give everyone a fair shot because we've already told people they'll have time to come see the house. So that way you let all your marketing, your local marketing, your internet marketing, and your MLS marketing, and marketing the buyer's agents, going to the caravan, you get everybody in there for that first weekend. And if you got 15 to 20 people showing up, you're going to have a good idea where the market is. So that is another part of the philosophy that many experienced agents understand, that if you're in California and 10 to 15 people have come to see your property and you don't have offers yet, there's either something wrong with your property or it's significantly overpriced. So that's, 60% of the homes or more last year when we were looking at the data were receiving multiple offers. So the hard part's not the multiple offering. The part where you want a good agent is trying to get above fair market value. Because let's face it, almost every agent, all the online websites, everybody tells you to market your home at fair market value or less. So when an agent's telling you, we sold the property in 2 days for $3,000 above list price, I mean, really? Is that something to be bragging about? And I'm going to tell you on average, it's absolutely not. So here is our first detail. Let me pull up. This is InfoSparks. This is the back office for, I have both. Both MLS systems here. This is the back office of North San Diego County Association of Realtors, and we are in Paragon. I also have Matrix, but in Paragon, we can click. First of all, this is part, you want to go in here if you want an overall total market context in this one, RPR. But I went in and I clicked on InfoSparks. So this is InfoSparks, and this will show us we can go back 10 years, and we can show you that right now, on average, in San Diego, the list price, the original list price to the close price, on average, is 97.3%. So the average homeowner working with a real estate agent in San Diego sells their home for 97.3% of list. But remember, the strategy almost every agent tells you to start with is pick the fair market value or a little bit less, and then they'll sell your home to multiple offers. Well, they will sell your home to multiple offers, but will they successfully sell your home to multiple offers? I don't consider success just selling your home. That's easy. Price it low, see them go. 30 or 40-year-old mantra from real estate. I heard about it when my friend's mom was real estate. My mom's friend was a real estate agent. Price them low, see them go. I mean, that works in all markets, up, down, everything. It worked in the bottom of the short sale market to get multiple offers in. We did that, especially when it was the bank's money. If my client didn't have any tax consequences and they wanted to avoid a foreclosure, we priced them low and we saw them go. Not 60 cents on the dollar, but 95% of where fair market value is, just so the buyers knew they were getting a good deal. And they'd come out and they'd make offers, and when they really liked the home, sometimes they even paid fair market value for a short sale because they really wanted to live there. That's the theory. What you need to do is have an agent who knows the process, has a good strategy, negotiates them up. So like I said, 7 to 10 day offer acceptance period. Then take, just like we did in short sales, take your strongest offers, put them on the side, let the other buyers compete to show them they're the type of buyer who will close, and they don't mind paying top dollar. If they're going way over market value, you have to make sure they have cash and they're not going to back out. They really want this home. They don't mind paying $30,000. They're not price sensitive. They're coming down for the weekend. They just sold a house in San Francisco. They don't care about $30,000 more because they want to be near their friends or their grandparents or the club or the particular school needs to be walking distance. So they're motivated. They're not that price sensitive. They're going to pay top dollar. They're going to close. Those are the people you would sell your home to. That's the process. That's what your agent needs to express to you. So when you're asking questions, you ask them such as, if we have multiple offers, how do you deal with it? Do you expect to go above fair market value? How often do you do it? Why? What can we expect here? When do we know? Like you need to look for people telling you, well, when we have 10 or 15 people coming in on a Saturday or Sunday or more, we are expecting offers. We expect multiple offers. And when we get those multiple offers, we're going to take the strongest offers. If they're already over a threshold you can accept, we're going to take that number, talk to them, tell them it's a great agent, tell them it's a great offer. We might not even counter, but we're giving the other people that we told a chance and opportunity. And then you just shop that offer. Hey, this is where we are. Are you interested in beating it? Whether it's over the phone or anything else. We love offers. Once you get 3 or 4 in, then you just tell people over the phone, we've got 3 or 4. Some of them are strong. If your people are motivated, they need to understand that. By the way, come see the property. It's great. Let us know if you're interested, because otherwise we're going to be looking at these on Sunday night. I mean, those are the conversations. That's the process. Your agent, I mean, if you have an agent with experience, they're going to jump all over this. They're going to tell you why that their process works and what you can do with your home. Now, if your home's a wreck, they'll say, well, we can price it really low for multiple offers, or we'll price it here and we'll let it come in. I mean, these are the things that you need to discuss. Your agent's experience and skill should come out during the phone call. I know when I am referring properties, you can sense it immediately with just a few questions. There's the people who know what they're doing and the people who pretend they know what they're doing. The people who know what they're doing, it comes out because they have the process, they understand it. They might even say something like, well, when we filter the buyers, but when it's a strong buyer, I talk to all of them. I talk to all the agents. So I have a team in place. We set up showings, but I talk to everybody before they see the home. After they make offers, I'm in charge. I communicate thoroughly with them. I communicate thoroughly with you. When we're hitting the marks, we're gonna start shopping the offers, and we're gonna raise the value, and that's how we're gonna get 102% or 105% of fair market value. I mean, what they're projecting. These are the things we want to know. Now, if they can't get showings, then there's something else that has to change, and we would revisit that. But if they're getting showings, then we know. Now, just because I'm curious and because I want everything accurately reflected, the median and the average. The median's a little bit better, but you can see it's moving around, just like average and median. So, this should really tell you there's a huge variation between the results that some agents get and other agents can get, because we certainly know some homes sell for more, even in Southern California. I've looked at the stats all over California. I can tell you only a month ago when I was looking at this, Northern California, there really were extreme examples where people were paying significantly over list, where it was jaw-dropping to me, 115% in one of the areas around San Francisco. It was Silicon Valley. So, in that case, again, though, strong agents qualifying them. I'm sure there were cash buyers on $2 and $3 million properties. But it's probably more difficult for an agent to sell to multiple offers well than in a down market. In a down market, you just have to price below the others, let the offers come in, pick that weekend. Up market, you want an agent that communicates, that has experience. So let's go back to my document now. Now, the negotiating process I discussed again. Ideally, you let the marketing work 7 to 10 day offer acceptance period, followed by isolating your strong offers that might have met your threshold. If not, you have to bring those people up too, and then bring up the other people. Do not go highest and best ever. I think there's always exceptions to the rule. Highest and best just ticks people off, especially because the sellers aren't going to be sad. They're like, well, look, we got that number. We're going to come back. So don't do that. It chases buyers away. I mean, there's exceptions, but as a seller, unless you're really, really experienced and you're not that price sensitive, highest and best is going to torture both sides. I've seen it. I've gotten the calls from people. I've had agents explain it to me because I've known them sometimes when they were embarrassed. They say, well, they couldn't make up their mind. I actually believed the agent in that circumstance. So don't do highest and best. Don't paper everybody. Get them to move up and then get the paper to them quickly. I have plenty of other videos on that. We go into much more depth. Now, your marketing. As I said, the MLS takes care of a lot of your marketing, but some of your strongest buyers are going to come from the neighbors. So unless you don't want signs on your property because it's the kids or school, those signs can make a difference. It takes a while so they can tell their people from out of town. They can tell relatives. They can tell friends. So give that a few days to work. You can also send out postcards in the area. You could knock doors if you're having a good open house or put out flyers. Local marketing can make a big difference. And I would almost consider Facebook and Google marketing now to be the local marketing because you're targeting those people in the area who are motivated. Now, your list price. There's 3 prices that you need to know. You need to know what your max likely selling price is because of competition and doing, this is how I do it, but you can also do it. I've had other videos where even if you're just going on Zillow or Realtor.com and typing in a little bit bigger homes, a little bit higher price homes and seeing how they compare and contrast to yours. You can use RPR. You can use that. You change, you go outside normal CMA territory so you can see the competition above you and say, well, we're likely that no one would buy, very few people would buy my home for this because that house is bigger and it's got better views. So then you can sort of estimate, well, I think people at some point would rather pay $20,000 more for my house. So I don't think I could sell for within $20,000 or $30,000 of those homes. So that's your maximum likely selling price. Now, where your list price is versus your maximum likely selling price. Like, where would you list your home right now? Where would you expect to sell? As I already told you, you want to work with an agent who's going to get you to that fair market value. But then when you know what the max price is and the fair market value is, then you can decide how much to spend on well, I don't think you want to renovate your home too many times because very few times to improve, big improvements actually result in more money for you if you're a retail seller. I mean, it works when you're buying 60 cents on the dollar, but when you're trying to sell, where your listing price is now, then you can say, well, if I put $5,000 in paint and carpets, is there plenty of room for that to work? Usually there is. Decluttering, staging might cost a little time or money. Is that worth it? Very frequently, but not always. So those are the choices you have to make. Like if you can already sell right here and your max is 20,000 above, well, then you probably consider selling right there or just doing a little bit, but not spending a lot of money because you might not get those returns. So that's why your list price and your list price, the risk. So you might go higher by starting off with a good list price because we've already seen you don't necessarily want to go below fair market value in Southern California, right? Because most agents aren't getting back to fair market value. If you list too high, it's a problem. Listing a little bit high is not the same problem as it was 20 years ago. Everybody knows what prices are now. If you're a little bit high, you're still going to have people coming out to your property. Your main goal is to get 10 to 15 to 20 people out to your property. That's how you know things are going to work. Your timing, that could be a few percent. Now, what if you're working with no agent? I can tell you that if you already know what your max selling price is and you can know where a list price an agent would put you, you can sort of figure out where you should be. I'm not going to tell you an agent never works. I'm going to tell you in a slow market, you don't want to go with people that aren't marketing to the buyer's agents. You probably don't want to use the Rex model, which we'll get to very quickly. But in a market where it's strong and you could have an open house and have 20 people show up, and if you had a contract out there, they'd start writing contracts, and especially you give them confidence. Oh, by the way, I have a lawyer looking at this, or if you'd like, I can have a realtor work with me. I mean, in a strong market where you're getting a lot of showings to your open house, you're going to have an idea where the market is. I mean, sometimes you'll find out, like when I was on my brother's sell the home, we had a bunch of showings. They all said, this is where the market is, not where your brother wants it to be. My brother believed it, and we sold the house accordingly. Actually, he sold it he then did the numbers and said, I might as well just sell it to these fast buyers because I need to be in Texas next week. So if you get enough people at the house, you're going to find out the price if you're talking to the buyer, to the potential buyers. So it's awesome. You have an idea where you are. Now, as I said, comparing brokers. So now this works together. Like I said, you want to price your home. To price your home well, I think you want to do your disclosure. You want to go do a room by room review of your property. That's what I do as an agent. That's what you do. When you go through, you look at the walls as if you're a buyer. You look at everything. You say, are people going to tick off these things as problems? Or less than ideal or suboptimal? I think while you're doing it, I actually really like the idea of just getting out the disclosures and doing your disclosures room by room. Because now you've done it, and those disclosures can make a huge difference in your final selling price. And I'll tell you why in a minute or two. So, but we're going to use the pre-disclosures. We're going to go through the property. We are going to consider a process in which we eliminate buyer objections with a homeowner's warranty. Hey, what if the appliances break down? Well, they're covered for a year. Pre-inspection, pre-repair. As I said, if you know your max price, you can determine what you want to repair, how you're selling, what you're selling. In other videos, I'll explain as is. I've done them before. Essentially, in California, you're selling your property as is with the right to inspection and the right to ask for repairs. So you can make all these determinations ahead of time. So you set buyers' expectations properly. So paint and carpet. When I've been selling properties, I do it. I see the returns on renovations or my own house, but not always. I've advised some people not to bother. So it really depends on that spread between where your list price is, where you're likely to sell, and what your top dollar is. Some people are already their house already has a tremendous backyard. They're going to get good money, and they might not get any more because at some point people would just rather buy their houses. So you want to have a good overall market overview, a good context, and now when you have an idea with that, now you can say, well, what am I going to do to improve my net? Well, one is top dollar, sell for the absolute max. Two is don't over repair or spend too much money on your repairs. And then three, save on costs. Now you can save a little on escrow. You can negotiate a little title. You can negotiate a little escrow. Some places, some people do, and that's good. But rarely in California do I see it amounting to much more than $1,000. So understand you can negotiate those fees, but there's going to be a cap. But obviously, the obvious way to negotiate is to save real estate fees. Now, I like to look at it. In order to do this diligently, I've got other videos out there. You need to realize that there's a listing fee and a selling fee. Let's say right now, on average, it's a 5% total with full service brokers. And let's say 2.5 goes to the buyer, 2.4 goes to the selling agent. I suppose we should be looking like that. I've told you I have to flip it when we're on camera. But your listing agent is going to get maybe 2.5 if they sell, and then who's ever working with the buyer will get another 2.5. It could be your listing agent, it could be your buyer's agent. So now, where do you discount the realtor fees? Well, I think you could say, I don't want to go on the MLS because I'm going to test the market for a week or two. In that case, if you could get Rex to sell your home for 2%, but let you out after 2 weeks, great, go with Rex. But Rex doesn't put you on the MLS, or they're going to charge you 2% and then whatever you're going to pay anywhere. Redfin says we'll charge 1.5%, 1% if you also buy for them, but 1.5%, but they want you to do that 2.5 on the internet. And then remember, I said 2.5 and 2.5. It could be 3 and 3, but we'll go. But they want you to put that 2.5. So does Homebase. So does just about every discounter out there. So if you're going to go on the MLS, you're going to give 2.5 or 3% to the buyer's agents. So understand that when you're working with a discount broker, other than Rex, you're really just discounting the listing fee. And how much you're discounting it is what is the question. Now, if you could get a great agent that does all these things, if you've talked to the agents, if you're convinced they personally, not other people, not part of the team, not Rex, not Redfin, but those agents personally were the lead agent who does all the talking to the buyers and the buyer's agents, and they sold 20 or 30 homes, you can consider working with them. But let me just say, if you're calling these places and they're like, oh, we don't have an agent coming out to your house, you're not going to, we're going to give you the best agent in the area. I mean, and I'm giving you examples of what actually happens with these discounters in real life. Or work with them. They're one of our 3 or 4 people there. And those 3 or 4 people are working with the discount model themselves, and they're just churning homes, but they're not really. They're not. They haven't explained to you that they understand the multiple offer negotiation process. Well, put it this way. I would much rather work with one of the top agents in your neighborhood and the top agents in your area and negotiate 1% off their fee. So, they list their listing fee, you negotiate a third of it off or half. So instead of instead of going to Redfin and paying 1.5% to Redfin's agent, why not hire the best agent in your area and have them take 1% off their fee or 1.5% off their fee? So now you've got the best agent with a great process, with the experience, lots of experience, selling the multiple offers, who can explain why their process gets 100% or 102% of list. I think that you really want to consider that, working with the best at a discount. Now we can do that. I can do that if you go to winnerscheck.net right now. You could just go there, set up a consultation, and you could share a referral fee. We'll go through all this. You'll also have, if you work with us and we refer your property out, we send you into our attorney on your team program. Our attorney on our team, it's basically, you can call me whenever you want. I review things with you. You can bounce questions off me. You can talk about pricing. If you're having problems with escrow, title, or buyers aren't performing, I will give you experience and sometimes write legal letters for you if they're appropriate, if I deem them appropriate. I'm not trying to withhold my work. I'm just saying sometimes clients want to do things. I'm like, there's no basis for that. So let's go about this another way. But many times, escrow's holding something up, title's holding something up, buyers aren't performing, buyers are demanding too much money. What should I do? Buyers, the number one thing, the biggest problem I see is buyers, lenders aren't performing on time, and you need some leverage to get me to get those buyers, lenders to perform so that you can buy that next house. So you get the money and you have the money to move on to your downsize or your upsize or your transfer. A lot of times in the end, buyers, lenders become difficult. That's one of the things a lawyer's not supposed to specialize. It's one of those things I do a lot. So you have the buyer attorney supporting you on your team. I'm not going to litigate for it, but you have an attorney on your team, and we refer your property out and share the referral fee with you. So if you go to winnerscheck.net right now, just sign up for a consultation. You have a free strategy session with me. We work it out. We see what your goals are, and if it's a good fit for the program, we'll help you hire either the agent of your choice or the best agent in your area and turn them into a discount broker. However, if you're seeing this video at the website right now and you just want to get started, I have another program in which we start with your disclosures. Instead of charging what I normally have charged in the past, which in the past when I was doing this, it was $350 to do people's disclosures with them, sometimes more. I have a major discount so that you can start with your disclosures. We also have a consult. We talk about pricing. We talk about your goals. And I will give a stronger share of the referral fee to you. So if you want to read about that more, click on the link that if you're at winnerscheck.com / we'll call it disclosures, winnerscheck.net / disclosures. If you're on that page, DISCLOSURES, you'll see an opportunity to get started with me right now. We'll do your disclosures. We'll have our price and consult. We'll have our strategy session. And you'll also get to keep far more of the real estate fees. So maybe you're even seeing on that page right now. Just click that button to get started. I'll show you the difference between our normal program where we share the referral fee 50-50 and this program. I think it's an opportunity for everybody, and it doesn't always exist. I'm only going to do this with a limited amount of people each month, and then I just let the regular program work. So if you're seeing this, you might be seeing a tremendous opportunity because it might not be there. I'll just take the page down when the program's full for the month. So thanks. Talk to you later. Bye. My name's John McConnin, winnerscheck.net. Oh, I hardly even told people about what I do. I'm a real estate attorney and a broker, and the California Association of Realtors selected me to train realtors on how to negotiate multiple offers. I can't believe I left that out earlier. So if you want to put that sort of expertise on your side as a consultant to help you and turn a great agent into a better agent who's also working for discount prices, I don't, how could you go wrong with this program? And, we'll even talk about money back guarantees or you could keep the, whatever. I'll explain what the guarantee is. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye. John McConnin, winnerscheck.net. And in this case, it's winnerscheck.net/disclosures.